It's the first day of summer here at the Prime Ingredient, and I am making chili dogs featuring my childhood favorite chili dog topping, pickles and onions. Okay, so we're gonna make the best part of any hot dog, and that is the chili. And I'm kind of referencing my old cookbook, Dinners from in the Pantry, circa 2004. And it's gonna assist me along in making my chili for the chili dogs. Yay! So I have some onions here that I'm sauteing just a little bit, not a whole bunch, maybe about 1/4 cup. And I use olive oil for everything. So there is olive oil in here, but you can use canola or vegetable oil. That's totally fine. I'm gonna add a chipotle pepper or two. It's really, really good. And it's a dried and roasted jalapeno that is in an adobo sauce. And it's so delicious. Here, I'll show you what it looks like in the can. But you get about, I don't know, about 14 of them in a can. And you only want to use 1 or 2 in a recipe. Otherwise, you're going to be burning your tongue off here. So I have 2, and it gives a really smoky, earthy, tomato-y flavor. There's a little bit of sweetness also. It's super good. And then we're going to add the rest of the aromatics. And in here I have chili powder, I have cumin, I have oregano, salt, and celery seed. And then I'm going to add some of my original Mediterranean spice blend also, just a little pinch of that, because it goes good with everything and anything. So we're going to put a little bit of that in there too. Okay? Always got to put a little bit of the Middle East in everything that you're making. We are now going to let this kind of blossom and bloom and get these wonderful flavors all going and mixing together. And then once your onions are nice and softened and you can really start smelling the richness of all of the aromatics you put in there, we're going to start dumping everything in there. And that's kind of what I put in the cookbook too. This is kind of one of those dump it recipes where you just take the canned beans that have already been brined, get the best that you can find. Organic beans are really, really quite the best. And pick your favorite beans. Right now I have Great Northern beans that I'm going to add. And I have emptied out a little bit of the liquid, but I'm keeping a good majority of the liquid in the can. It's like just like the top layer of the liquid we're going to get rid of. And then I have garbanzo beans because Lebanese, and black beans, organic black beans. If you want to rinse the black beans, go right ahead. I love the brine that they came in, especially when they're organic. It's really, really good, and it's low sodium, so I'm adding my own salt to this. I have pinto beans, and I also have good old dark kidney beans, okay? So I'm going to let these all mix together, and while they are bringing themselves up to a boil here, I'm also going to add some diced green chilies, okay? So let's get that boiling. It's always so great to bring a big pot of chili beans to boil for the summertime, because you can do anything with this. You can just have a bowl of chili, you can have some with cheese, you can have some on a hot dog, go ahead and throw it on a hamburger if you want to too. That's kind of Tommy's style. It's how I grew up. I remember those burgers you'd have to lean over so you wouldn't get all over your clothes. They're the best. Okay, so I have to let this boil a little bit here. Okay. So now that this is bubbling a little bit, I'm going to add the green chilies. And you decide, you can put the whole can. This is 7 ounces. But if you want, you can just put half a can. My family loves diced green chilies. They're not spicy. So I'm going to put the whole thing in there. And then I'm going to add a big scoop of tomato paste. Help thicken it up, and then 1 can 14 ounces of crushed tomatoes, and I got these are fire roasted, so it's going to have a little bit of roasted flavor in there too. And then what's going to happen is you're just going to let this sit, and the best thing to do is just let it sit for a couple of hours on low and let it all just mix together like one big beautiful chili. So good. But I'm going to show you one trick, okay? One little trick that I learned that makes my chili a little bit different than everybody else's, and that is a potato masher. And I mash some of the beans so that they get a little mushy. So it's really yummy on a hot dog. You're not just eating a big bunch of beans. You're having a little bit of bean and a little bit of mush. So they're like a mashed chili, okay? Super good. And we'll just let this sit here for a couple hours on low. Let all those flavors get in, get nice and braised all together. And then we'll put it on top of our hot dogs, okay? It's gonna look the same at the very end too when it's all done cooking, but this is looking mighty tasty. While the hot dogs are grilling out on the barbecue, I want to make a topping to put on top of the chili, to put on top of the cheese that's on top of the chili. It's a really good topping. There's multiple toppings, so let's make another one. Why not? So this is something that I grew up with at a submarine shop or a hoagie shop or whatever, the little sub sandwich shop that was near my house when I was growing up. It was called Submarine King. And it was on Strathern and I think Vineland or Tahunga. It might have been Strathern and Tahunga. They used to make some of the best, most delicious sub sandwiches ever. And they would have this topping on top of their sub sandwiches. And it was super easy. It was just pickles, it was onions, and pepper. Even my cat loves it. So you chop up these pickles really fine. Fine dice. And then we're going to add a little bit of green onion. I think they used white onions, although I can't remember, but I'm gonna use a little bit of green onion, and it's just a tablespoon of onions, nothing major. So instead of just putting regular old onions on your hot dog, try this topping. And then once it's all chopped up, we're going to add the pepper and a little bit of my original Mediterranean spice blend too. Even if you're not having a hot dog and you want to put this on just a sandwich instead of pickles or onions or pickles and onions, it's super, super good. It's a really fun condiment, a little bit different than maybe what you're used to having, but go for it. Try these little unique blends. See how you like them. Okay, I'm gonna transfer this back into the bowl, and then we're going to add some pepper and some of my spice blend. Then we're going to assemble the chili dogs. Okay, let's assemble this hot dog. Oh my gosh, this is the Durham Farm Bison hot dog. We're just gonna put that right there in the bun. And then, oh, look at that chili is beautiful. You're gonna make a mess, and it's totally fine. Make a nice, beautiful mess. Put that chili on over the pot like that. Let it runneth over. Delicious. Add a little bit more. Can never have too much chili, right? Let's put a little bit more there. Okay, and then we've got the cheese. Let that melt on there, on the hot stuff a little bit, and then my childhood favorite, the pickles and onions, courtesy of the Submarine King circa 1970, whatever. Okay, there you are. That is my version of a delicious chili dog, a la the prime ingredient. Perfect for the first day of summer. Enjoy, we'll see you next time.